One of the Chinese spies fired at the Winnipeg high-security biolab was advising someone on how to commit immigration fraud, and the spy was using her Public Health Agency of Canada email address to do it. And then the fired spy, Dr. Zhang Kuo-Kui, lied about it, even with email evidence of the fraud presented to her.
We just received these documents that Trudeau has been covering up for years. Documents related to a massive security breach at the Trudeau government's most sensitive laboratory, where the most dangerous viruses and pathogens are studied and handled. We have learned that the Trudeau government's head of pathogens was collaborating with members of Beijing's People's Liberation Army who are responsible for bioweapons and bioterrorism.
The information of the immigration fraud advice is on pages 100 and 101 of the CSIS report into the espionage at the highest level of security biolab in the country in Winnipeg, Manitoba, wherein 2 Chinese nationals working for the lab were smuggling deadly pathogens and other information to Chinese military operatives. Now, the spying duo was frog-marched out of the building in 2019 and subsequently fired in 2021. But Kui wasn't the only liar in this spy affair. The federal government engaged in a systematic cover-up to avoid the scandal coming to light before the 2021 election. In 2021, the president of the Public Health Agency of Canada, Ian Stewart, was censured on the floor of the House of Commons after defying 4 separate orders to turn over documents detailing the security breaches at the lab. Stewart was the first federal manager summoned for censure since 1891, and Stewart recently retired to a bit of a hero's send-off. Now, CSIS detailed the fraud and dishonesty of the spy in the security agency's report. It reads, the service also notes that in her security interview, Ms. Kui stated that she has never counseled someone to commit immigration fraud. An email chain was previously provided by the Public Health Agency of Canada, however, wherein Ms. Kui was observed advising a foreign research student to circumvent Canadian immigration laws in order to obtain a visa in a more timely fashion. While it is possible that Ms. Kui may not have thought of her advice as fraud, it is clear from this exchange that she was aware of the rules and, despite the student's uncertainties, advised the student to disregard them. Ms. Kui chose not to expand on her answer despite being given the opportunity by the service interviewer. This lack of respect for immigration rules and her lack of candor about it during the interview may indicate that Ms. Kui was not fully truthful throughout her security screening interview on other topics. So who did Ms. Kui counsel to commit immigration fraud? Yet another spy? Will it take another election for us to find out?
To weaponize national security in a way that is rife with conspiracy theories and partisan attacks is a choice that I don't think is worthy of the kind of responsible leadership that Canadians deserve.
For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. If you'd like to help me get access to Chrystia Freeland's travel records to Davos, to the World Economic Forum, and to many other records that I want from the federal government that I think you're entitled to, please consider making a donation at rebelinvestigates.com.